Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. And in this video, I will be talking about the latest update on derivatives margins requirement as per NSE. So, as you would already, some of you might already know that as per the review of risk management framework, the margins for the margins for all derivatives segment, futures and options, especially futures and options selling, because this is actually requires higher margin. So as per SEBI recommendations, NSE has decided to increase the margin period of risk, that is known as MPOR, in the derivative segment from 1 day to 2 days. That means almost that is from January 21st, 2019, and span and exposure margin will actually go up by a maximum of 41%. So if you are looking at some of your margins where some of your positions, which is around 5 lakhs, you can actually see a substantial increase of the blocked margin, which can go up to 7 lakhs. This is especially for people who trade and hold their positions for next day or for monthly positions. And so how this will affect is there is something called span margin and exposure margin. Let me go to Zerodha. Yeah, Zerodha margin calculator here. So for example here, if I click Nifty here, and so the buy will when you actually buy an option, the only margin which will be blocked is 75 into the price of the underlying options. So if Nifty 11,000 C is going at around 80 rupees, 80 into 75 rupees. Let me just tell you the exact amount too. For example, if 80 rupees is the option price of Nifty, so you buy one lot, 6,000 is the only amount which will be blocked, because this is the maximum. The risk is defined. You are going to lose maximum of 6,000 rupees in case this becomes zero. Now, when the same thing, if you actually are selling options, um, let me go to options here, and 11,000 for example's sake, the margin required is 51,000. And as you can see here, there is something called exposure margin and span margin. Now, in this case here, I think this is actually yeah. So span plus exposure is equal to minus spread benefit. So well, I'll talk about that separately here. So what is happening right now here is this margin, the total margin itself will be increasing from January 21st. That is actually a Monday. So you have only probably few days to decide which position you want to hold on. If you do not have margin, there will be substantial penalty to it. So span margins, let me just talk about a little bit about span margins. So span margins are charged to cover for the worst possible movement in the contract you are trading for a single day. Now, the exchange has now revised this to cover for possible volatility over 2 days. So that's the actual difference here. So this is basically calculated based on 1 day, and now they are calculating it for 2 days. So it doesn't mean that this will be double. No, it's substantially it's going to be increased by 10%, possibly. No, I'm sorry, maximum of 40%. So margins for Nifty and Bank Nifty, for Nifty it can increase to approximately 10,000 rupees, and Bank Nifty for approximately 7,000 rupees. But from my understanding, you will still get a spread benefit. Now, spread benefit is something if you buy an option for hedging. For example, in this example here, we have sold 11,000 strike price. And if we decide to buy 11,200 as a buy, this is for hedging. you will actually get margin benefit, which is nothing but the spread benefit of around 6,000 rupees, which will reduce your margin. I think this will not reduce. I'm sorry, this will not change because this is the margin benefit in which you have taken it to reduce the risk associated with the sell options. So that's pretty much allowed it. I have already spoken about this on another video, but this is exactly what is going to happen from 21st of Jan. The margins will increase also for futures and options selling. So this update is basically for people who sell options and also work on futures. So many people work on futures even in intraday. So it looks like the intraday margin will also increase because this total margin, if you are taking a position for intraday, it's approximately 40 to 50% of the total margin is required for intraday trading. So a little bit about exposure margins. So exposure margins are charged over and above span margins, and this is 3% of the total contract value for index and 5% whichever for stocks and F&O. So this is also getting increased to 4.2% for index and 7% for stocks and F&O. So there is something which you have to understand here, and that is SOM, short option minimum, is minimum margin for all strikes of option contracts that fall beyond the price of the scan range. Here. So this update, in short, you just have to remember that if you are an option seller or a future trader who do not trade intraday, even if you trade intraday, please do remember the margins have increased. So if you are trading with 5 lakhs and if your position is already in MTM loss, then it's very important that you would either have to square some of your positions and keep some extra margin. As I told you, this is basically a review of risk management, and based on this have increased. I personally do not have any opinion as of now, because this will once this is implemented, then we will have to see how this will actually affect someone's trading. But to be on the safer side, please do keep some extra amount in your account to be on the safer side. So that's pretty much about this update from NSE. It's a very important update, and we'll see how it pans out in the next few days. All right. So that's pretty much about this update here. If you have not joined my Telegram channel, feel free to join. I do post live stock market updates on that, and if you you can also join me on Twitter. There is a link below on the description where all my social media profiles are available. So then thank you, and I will see you again on the next video.